Howdy, friends. Welcome to week 11 now. We are almost there. It has been a spring indeed. Summer is almost here, but still, last 2 weeks, okay? So we're going to be rolling out a little upgraded system here. It's not completely filled out, but we can at least start to show you what is coming through, and you will see it updated in the Train Heroic app as well. Still working out some details, but again, you can see the basic overview. So all the major stuff is still the same. So we're still in year one, quarter two. This is the peak phase that we are now currently in, and we are going into the build week. The average for this week for the volume, density, and intensity is a 2-1-2. So that's a 2 out of 5 volume, 1 out of 5 density, and then 2 out of 5 intensity. All right, so what we are ultimately doing is we're infusing a lot of really all of the components of the program as a whole, because if you've been following along long enough now, you know that the training is only one piece of the puzzle here. So we're infusing a lot of the other elements like the nutritional components, the mental, emotional components, even the spiritual components, and like the 4 doctors, and even gene keys. This kind of little themes that we get to work with. And then this is all goes into the hero's journey. That is the 12-step process, the 12-week program. So right now we'll be going into week 11 of this hero's journey, which is the 12-week program, the 12-week cycle that we're currently in. And week 11 is all about helping others. So in essence, you know, do this whole journey that we've been on so far for this 12 weeks has been a lot of developing yourself and realizing how to tap into your own unique gifts and abilities. And now we get to use those gifts and we turn around to help others realize their own unique gifts and genius. Okay, so that's the theme for this week. And each week, you know, we're going to be looking at through the lens of a gene key. So a gene key, basically the easiest way to think about it if you're unfamiliar is it's based off of the I Ching, which is like this kind of ancient system of really working with different elements. I mean, it's really like alchemy at a basic level, because it's in essence, it's, you know, what is the interaction? What is the energy of the interaction between fire and water, for example? And what if, you know, because the gene keys or the I Ching they're in hexagrams. So imagine like you've got lines. But basically, you know, you can have fire on top of water, or you can have water on top of fire. And that interaction will have a little different feel. It'll have a little different energy. So the gene keys are based off of that. So it's kind of like these little pockets of energy and information that we get to work with, and kind of like a lens like a filter that we get to use to look at the program as a whole. And then as you'll see, even within each individual day. Okay, and each gene key has 3 different levels. So there's the shadow level, then there's the gift level, and then there's the city level, which I like to sometimes just call superpower. So you've got your shadow, you've got your gift, and you've got your superpower. And the cool thing is the shadow contains the seed that then fruits, that blossoms in the gift and then becomes the fruit and embodiment within the superpower. Okay, so we'll be infusing a lot of that within the program, and we're going to be rolling out this point system. So essentially, you get rewarded and you earn points, which you can add up to unlock the different levels that we have, or like the different membership levels. Because essentially, you know, the program and even the training, like everything's free. And in that sense, you know, it's kind of like a la carte. Like you might need a gym membership, you might need your own gym membership, or you might need to get some accessory stuff. But as far as all the main components is completely free for you guys. And then you can earn points to level up to different levels of the membership. So like, you know, level 1 is just the basic, you know, free. Level 2, you start to unlock different discounts and things for different, like East Race Muscle. You get a discount membership for East Race Muscle and other businesses and people that we work with. And then basically by the time you get to level 4, which you can do either through paying, like if you want to pay for a membership, you can do that, or you can just play the game. You can just show up to the workout, show up to ceremony, as I'll get into in a sec, and you can earn points that way. And then that in itself can unlock the different levels that one may normally pay for, okay? So you kind of go a couple different routes with that. So each day we'll start to get into now, you can get a certain amount of points. So there's each day we're going to have an overview. We'll have some kind of daily accountability. And just for doing the daily accountability, which I'm imagining might be as simple as, what's your main intention for today, or what's your main result for today, just like a little prompt. And this will all be within Train Heroic, as you'll see. You'll get 5 points for that. And then we'll have some kind of more integrated dynamic warm-up. Because again, we want to be able to touch on all of the different layers here. So even though, yes, you're going to do a workout and it is this very physical thing, and that's the emphasis, we're still going to be touching on, maybe like a little breathing exercise before, or maybe even like a little kind of meditation, or a little kind of mantra or movement, just something to kind of get into your body. And in a sense, like a normal warm-up, it's just getting you prepared on all different levels, not just purely physical, getting you prepared on all different levels to really maximize your training session. And then, we'll obviously have the training session like normal, and then we'll have some kind of cool down, some kind of integration that also gives you something practical that you can take with you. And then, so essentially each day is its own little microcosm, if you will, its own little world of, if you just kind of follow the program for the day, you'll touch on all the main elements of life. And this way you got your 4 doctors, Dr. Happy, Dr. Quiet, Dr. Diet, Dr. Movement. Essentially, within the program itself, there'll be ways to improve on each one of those doctors every single day if you choose to just follow the program. And you get 5 points for the daily accountability, and then you get 20 points for actually doing the workout and completing the workout. And we'll be holding on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So your 3 main days, your weakness day, your strength day, and your test day, those will have team workouts. So we can all kind of come together and do the whole workout together. And it'll be more like a class structure. And then on Fridays, we'll have the workout. And by the way, these workouts will be 5:30 to 6:30 Monday and Wednesday at East Race Muscle. And then the plan right now is to do 4:30 to 5:30 on Friday, and then we'll transition to ceremony. So basically on Fridays, your workout will be the start. You don't have to, but if you choose to, your workout will be really the start of the Friday night community party. But it just so happens that the party is, it's part of this ceremony that encompasses a lot of these different things. But in the end, it is like, it's low pressure, it's like there's different levels to it. It can be more of an intense experience, and there will be times and places for that. But as the most of the time, because we'll be doing these weekly, and this will be like a weekly cycle, most of the time it'll be more of a, like a get together. There'll be music, we'll have some food, we'll have space to just kind of, hang out and get to know one another, just community building. And then we'll also have some space for like some teaching, some practical lessons, and really tying everything together. That's kind of the big point on the ceremony on Fridays, is tying everything together that we've done throughout the week. Because remember, each one of these days we'll be touching on some of the different elements, really as it relates to the theme as a whole for the week. So again, week 11, helping others. So each day, all of the main teachings and exercises outside of the training, and even including the training, it will be with the emphasis of helping others and going through that lesson of the program, okay? And then again, that all culminates in ceremony. So just a couple things, some minor tweaks that we are starting to now implement. This will really, you'll see this like full on in the summertime. So we're just putting the pieces in place right now. So all that being said, your little introduction overview for the week, let's get into it. Take it away, Coach TJ.
All right, into it. So weakness day, all right, 4-3-1, as Coach Nate was saying. Obviously, the overview, daily accountability will be kind of how the workout starts, kind of leading you guys through some different things. Getting the workout started that way. Excuse me. Then we actually get to the actual physical part of the workout, right? And we started off with some snatches, kind of building off what we were doing before, kind of getting you ready for that 10 rep max coming here in a little while. Got 4x6 at 1. So a little bit less than the 8 reps. So maybe you can put a little bit more weight on there, but it's still a 1. So still focus on that. Just trying to like keep that form as tight and consistent as you can for all 6 reps. When I tell people when they're doing a certain number of reps or something, you want every single rep to be perfect, honestly, right? Because you think about, I gotta do 6 snatches. Well, it's okay if some of them don't look that great. Like, yeah, but if you think about like that, when you go to do your max, you might not get to 10, right? I mean, you want to think about like every single rep is its own individual thing. So take your time, be intentional with that. Okay. Same thing with the clean and jerk, 4x6 at a 1, right? Front squats then for the squat variation, 4x6 at a 1, and we finish off with tire flips, 4x6 at a 1. And so what he was touching on before about the kind of the beginning of the workout will also be a little bit of a cool down, which will be somewhat of like kind of bringing it all together, kind of like last minute like questions, concerns, kind of like leading you, kind of like he said, kind of building up throughout the week. So kind of like setting intentions for maybe the next day, kind of give you a little bit of a, foresight, kind of a little like, hey, like here's what once you guys go home, think about to get ready for the next day. And like he said, the daily accountability and warm up will be those 5 points, but the workout itself will be those 20 points that you then take into the next day with you.
Boom. All right, so our specific day, we'll have a 3-2-1 average. So that'll mean we'll do 3 different exercises. And again, everybody, like, we're all going to be exposed to essentially it's a 7-day program because there'll be little action items and little things every day. But obviously you may not necessarily do every workout every day. And obviously we're only doing the class for right now. There may be more spots open up in the future, but right now it'll be 3 times a week. So those will be the main days, but then obviously you can come and do your other workouts on your other days if you want. So squat is the first thing, 3x2 at a 1. And that's all we'll do for the bench and the deadlift. So it's a 1, but low reps. So you should be able to do it a little heavier. And then that'll actually be a nice little primer then going into day 3.
Just bench, 113, a little bit heavier than this bench for sure. But it's not a max, but it's like call it like a mild max.
Feel it.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it. It's if we had to do a numbers game, it's probably like, I don't know, between 70 and 80%, somewhere like around there.
Yeah, for a 1 rep, so like a 5 would be 90 to 100% plus. A 4 would be like 80 to 90%. So 3, between, like that 70 to 80% range. Correct. Another way you can look at it too is reps in reserve.
Yeah.
So like a 3 would be 2 reps in reserve.
Yes.
So like you should,
You could definitely do 2 more solid reps.
Yeah.
That's it. And then we take it to the technique day, which is just bar work. All right, I'm assuming will still be some things to look at for the day in terms of the overview, kind of like, even the days that you guys aren't potentially coming into the gym, still be things for you to focus on, kind of like homework, if you will, so that way you still are kind of like keeping that mentality, kind of like continue to build, even if you're not like physically doing as much. Then we get to accessory day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd imagine this technique day, we'll have maybe bar work or something, but it'd be more like active recovery. So there may be some other activities in there. Again, you don't have to do every single day, but there will be something for every single day if you choose to engage in that way. And again, the more you do, the more you just receive all that is here, the more points you get, all right? And then going into our accessory day, it's a 2-2-2. So we'll just have 2 different exercise blocks. We're going to start with a little conditioning / strongman superset. So we'll do sandbag throw, so little sandbags, and just tossing them up and behind. And I would go for distance. So how far can you get behind you? So that'll be a little easier to track than trying to see how high you can get unless you set something up. So go for distance. And then you're going to superset that with a sled push and a pull, but you're only going to go 100 feet total. So you go 50 feet down, 50 feet back. At East Race Muscle, that'll just be half of the turf. So half of the turf push, pull for half of the turf going back. And then we've got, so you do 2 rounds of that, 4 throws, 100 feet. And then we're going to go into a more bodybuilding corrective circuit. So we're going to do 3 exercises here. That first one will be a landmine snatch. So you'll set up in like a staggered, almost a lunge position, kind of chest facing forward, weights coming out to the side over here. And then as you, almost like a split squat, but explosive like a snatch, as you explode up, you'll transition, you'll twist so that the bar is over your head and now you're facing the direction of the bar. You start perpendicular and then you'll finish facing, okay? So you'll do 4 per side of those. You're gonna do 2 rounds of this circuit. 4 per side of the landmine snatch, and then you'll go into a Swiss ball curl with a check press. So you'll be seated on the Swiss ball. And honestly, if you want to, because it's fun, you can do kneeling on the Swiss ball or standing if you want to, have a little fun with it. But either way, the normal seated on the Swiss ball, and then you'll start with the dumbbells out to your side, curl, and then right from here, you'll go into the check press, and then you'll finish how you would normally finish a check press, bringing the arms in, lowering the weight down, and then back down into the curl. So just 4 reps. All right, so we're intentionally making these a little less reps so you can do a little heavier weight with these. And then the third thing will be supine, so that's lying on your back. And if you ever get confused between supine and prone, what helped me remember was supine, you can hold the soup. Okay, so supine on your back facing up, prone facing down. So on your back, and then hamstring curl, so your feet, your heels will be on the ball. And then as you do a hip extension, so as you push your butt into the air, you'll curl your feet underneath you. So from your knees to your shoulders should be like a board as you go. Everything's connected. Your hips aren't starting to sag down, okay? So you do 4 of those, but you're gonna do 5-second eccentric going down. And if you need to make it easier, you can bring the ball in closer to you. And you can also play around with your hand position. If your hands are out wide, it'll be a little easier. If you bring your hands in close, or you even put your hands across your chest, it'll make it harder because you've got less of a base of support. Okay, so you can play around with how to do that. And then, yeah, that's accessory day. And we'll take it back to Coach TJ.
And we'll test, and we'll test, and we'll test. 114. So it's you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it's been. 100 rep max, squat, bench, deadlift. Run it. Just try to take a little step further. If it's like 5, 2.5 pounds, whatever, like kilos, whatever, depending on if you're doing.
Well, I think this is going to be the last week of these.
Okay.
Because we're doing the quest the following week. So this would be the week to just blow the top off.
You heard what he said.
Blow the top off.
Blow the top off. So whatever. And the nice thing is you can take a decent break between these. You don't have to just try to like if you're thinking about powerlifting competition, like there's a nice break between, the different movements. So do 20 rep max and then take a second, like get some water, kind of let your body kind of heart rate come back down. And then, after like 5 minutes or so, then you can re-warm up for the bench. Re-warm up, Trying to get through all these. Now we're not rushing. We're trying to maximize it. You've been doing this for a long time. Let's set it off with a bang. So take your time. And then playing flashcards.
Start studying. Well, I got to start studying, so I'm gonna get some flashcards, because I need to study. And but yeah, that's gonna be in 2 weeks. So again, from a more logistical standpoint, just like with all this, we're still putting a lot of pieces into place. So the quest, the treasure in the forest, will still, it'll be very simple and very kind of basic. Like I said, there's going to be nothing crazy going on, but we'll still, there's going to be 3 tasks. So it'll be the bench and the tire flip, and then there's going to be the nature component where we need to go and connect and interact and identify these different plants, and then that will unlock the last little obstacle course or the quest to go and find the hidden treasure. Okay, so as you can I still haven't worked out all the details on it yet, but we will be there. All right, and then finish off on your week 7 or day 7, your rest day, and just like the technique day, we'll still have something in here for you. And this is a good day too to reflect on the week and prepare for the next week. So there may be some prompts or some exercises, or if you're going through the program, you'll be building your life map. So you'll already have a system that you'll be using, and so you can just do that on Sunday. And there may be some kind of physical, like maybe a work-in exercise or some kind of breathing, more meditative exercise for you in there as well. All right. So yeah, that is the program for the week. Hopefully you can get a little feel of the, where things are continuing to evolve to, and kind of bringing more and more together. Because, my intention personally is, each day is its own little just like powerhouse of, again, if I just follow this program, and which is inevitably going to bring up challenges, just like, even just a normal training program, but it kind of gives you a lot of tools and a lot of things along the way. So it's like each day, I can kind of trust in this until I really develop my own capacity, and even the program itself is not meant for you to just be on it the whole time. It's like, in a sense, we're trying to get rid of you. So it's like developing all the different skills and having the tools to then, it's like, I know how to make my own program now. And that's really even by the end of the first of the cycle, end of the 12-week program, you will have a basic understanding of how to create your own program. And even at that level still, because, week 11 is all about helping others. So even how can I start being of service in ways that feel aligned to how I feel called to show up in my natural gifts and abilities. Okay, so everything will be building on each other. But there it is.
Keep moving, everyone. Just trust the flow. Like, surrender to where it feels like life is taking you, and do the best you can to like stay present with all of it. But most importantly, enjoy the ride. It's going quick. You might as well just have some fun and let it take you to its full extent, and just enjoy the show. Love you guys.
Beautiful. Aho.